Hi there. Welcome. Today we get to do a restore class. What a good time of the year to let go and take some time for restoring, for recharging. I recently got this new activity tracking watch. It's actually for life insurance. If you can believe, there are life insurance plans that the premiums go down if you're active. So, of course, my advisor told me, "Oh, this is perfect for you." Anyway, aside from that, one thing I love about one of the features of it, it has this body battery um, measurement, I guess, and it tells you through the day how much battery you have left in yourself. I'm not sure what it takes into account. The probably heart rate and respiration rate and the ups and downs and how much you've been moving and how much you've been resting, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm really interested to see how this pans out over time and how my body battery is refreshed and restored. So anyway, that being said, today is a restore class so that we can replenish our body batteries even in these strange times. The holiday seasons seem to still be taking a lot out of us, and it's time to rewrite what we can do through these times to ensure the most joy, the most peace, the most connection, meeting our needs, meeting others' needs, and really rethinking our approach. So let's make our way to our mats. We're going to start seated today. And as always, there's a playlist that you can use um, and accompany your practice with. So we're going to start in a tall seat. Make sure you have any props that you need nearby. So for restore classes, we definitely use more props. Usually, again, you don't have to have the very conventional yoga props. In place of blocks, you can use books, you can use toilet paper rolls, like full ones. You can use cans. In place of yoga straps, you can use a folded tea towel, blankets, folded towels, couch cushions or pillows, anything that you imagine could be comfortable and a way to catch you before your body gets overstrained reaching the earth. So whether that's in a forward fold or in some form of child's pose, but it does help a lot. And then when you're ready, we close our eyes. We start to come to our breath. We're reminded with our breath that we have the power, we have the capacity to choose. This has been my theme this week. What are you aching to rewrite? What do you need a fresh start with? And not only does the time of year lend us a hand in this department, letting go of the old, bringing in the new. But we're reminded that every day, every morning we wake up, every breath is new. Every moment we're given choices. Our breath reminds us that we have the capacity to let things go. It reminds us that we can flood our body, mind, and soul with new oxygen, with something new every moment. Easier said than done. But if there's something that needs to be written, let's just let go and write it again. Start a new chapter. Remember to set the intention for yourself through today's practice to listen to your body, listen to the choices it wants to make as we go through our postures. Erase any old stories you have about how far you can go into a posture. Erase any old stories that you have about your expectations on the mat, what you should or shouldn't do. And start to make the choices based on how it feels physically, energetically, mentally and emotionally, maybe even spiritually. If there's any pinching, burning, shooting pains, retreat, reset, rewrite. If there's any dizziness or lightheadedness, retreat, settle down, recover, try again. Slowly open the eyes. And we're just going to flow back and forth, inhaling, drawing the heart forward, exhaling, rocking back, getting a little bit of movement in the body. Now this next time, this next round, as you exhale, swing your body to the right and come around in a circle, stirring things up. Go as slow as you need to, as slow as your breath will take you. And then come back to center. You might need to reset. You might need to cross your legs the opposite way for balance. And we'll go to the other side. Inhale forward, exhale, swing over to the left and around. Beautiful. One more full round. And come back to center. You may need to shift away any cushions you have propping yourself up for this next one. We'll take the arms behind the back, either holding onto wrists or forearms or elbows, and then just let the body fold forward. If you need something to catch you on the way down, you could always have a pillow, a block, a bolster, something to catch your head. Remember in restore classes, the more support we have, the more likely our nervous system can down regulate, can let go a little, allow itself to be reprogrammed, to imprint a new story of a relaxed you, a supported you. Come all the way up. Take your time. And then maybe you switch the cross again. You switch the cross of the arms, the other arm on top, and same thing. Fold forward. What comes naturally for you? What would you like to come naturally for you? We can slowly get there. We can reprogram the mind to not automatically go into panic or fixing or worrying or anger or tears and sadness and despair. Although there's a place and time for all of these things, it does not have to be our home base. Come all the way up again. Let's stretch those legs out to the side. Maybe a little bit of shaking, a little movement here. Pick your sit bones up off the ground slightly, lean forward and plug them back into the ground. If they don't easily plug in, narrow the legs a little bit. Maybe you keep the hands out behind you and hold yourself up here. Maybe you decide to take yourself for a walk forward. Maybe you have something to catch you again. You can get creative. Start to settle into your thighs, settle into the earth. Every inhale floods the body with new oxygen. Every exhale, we let go of some of that tension, whatever's holding us back from relaxing into the pose. Take 3 more nice long breaths here. And then slowly make your way back up. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to bring the left foot in towards the pelvis. Keep the right leg as is. Turn towards that right leg. Maybe again, you have something to hold on to and drape your body over. Maybe you have something to rest your head on. And let go here. Anchoring down through that left hip, letting it be heavy, letting the right thigh soften into the earth, right hip flexor, and letting that torso drape over. One more deep, long breath here. And we come all the way up. We turn to the front again, this time coming down sideways, a little bit more active a pose. You can rest your elbow on your thigh, open that chest up, bring the hand behind the back of the skull and lean back into that hand. The elbow can be natural, so whatever allows your shoulder to drop away from the ear. Find a neutral place for the head and the neck. Keep leaning back. Feeling that line of energy, that stretch happening from the left hip all the way up through that left elbow. And come all the way back up. We're going to keep the left knee bent, bring it out to about 90 degrees, and bend that right leg back behind you into a deer pose. And a little bit of flow happening here as well. So taking that right hand in deer pose and sweeping it around you, opening up, just bringing some movement into the shoulders, into the torso, the waist, and warming up, getting a little stretch through the hips, the glutes. Beautiful. One more sweep in each direction. And come all the way back up, and we'll come into that sleeping pigeon, or sometimes they call it a lazy pigeon, draping your body over that left leg. The ankle's up to you. You may be closer towards the ankle. You may be out towards the knee. Check in with your body and find the juiciest spot. Find a place where you're not gritting your teeth, wanting to run or hold or grip any part of the body. But also a spot that feels like it's getting to the spots that need reawakening, that need to be reset, flooded with fresh blood and oxygen. and reassured. Two more deep breaths in this pose. You may be able to melt deeper as the pose goes on. And then we slowly make our way back up. We maybe do some windshield wipers, right to left, left to right. And then we come into our supported Janu Shirshasana on the left leg. Left leg comes out diagonally. Right heel comes in towards the pelvis. Maybe there's something to drape your body over. Maybe there's something to support your head on. Return to that left leg and melt. Letting that right hip now be the anchor. Softening through the left thigh and the left hip flexor. And letting go through the upper body. Let the shoulders drop away. Let the forehead be smooth. The jaw is released. Take 3 more deep breaths in this position. And then come all the way up. Turn to the front again and come diagonally down that leg, resting the elbow on the thigh. And then taking the right hand behind the back of the skull, finding a neutral place for the head and neck, and then leaning back, letting your hands support your head. Elbow is at whatever angle you require to keep that shoulder on the back and away from the ear. As we stretch from that right hip all the way up to the right elbow. Expanding, making space. One more breath here. And all the way up, keeping the right knee bent, but taking it out to about 90 degrees, and then bending that left knee back 90 degrees. We come into deer pose with the left arm this time. We sweep a semicircle around us, then over the head and back the other direction. Finding movement on this side. Following your breath. Opening on the inhale. And swiveling on the exhale. We'll go one more in each direction. And come all the way up and set yourself up for this modified pigeon on this side. So finding the correct angle where you can comfortably drape yourself over that right leg, coming onto any kinds of props that you need, and ideally letting the head rest on something. Let the body unwind. All of those irrational beliefs and loops and tension that's caught up in the physical body. You're giving it permission to melt away with every exhale. You let go a little bit deeper. With every inhale, we fill up with newness in place of the old. And then slowly come all the way back up, back to center. Give the legs a little bit of a shake here. You're going to bend the knees and hug those thighs in towards you and let that head go. Again, maybe it can reach all the way to the knees, and you let the knees cradle your forehead as you sink into yourself. Come all the way up. We're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. Again, keep it something nearby to elevate the floor towards you. We're going to bring the right foot forward, right knee bent. Left knee will shimmy it back behind us as much as possible. And then both hands are going to come to the inside edge of that right foot. So this is where a prop might come in handy. You could bring your hands up on a prop. You can bring your elbows down onto it. We're coming into a pretty deep lizard here. So make sure you're choosing a spot that again feels juicy, that feels like it's awakening some spots that need attention, but it's not making you grip or hold or grit your teeth or hold your breath. You're able to let go, especially on the exhale. You're able to give those areas around that right hip joint, at the left hip flexor, the attention they need on the inhale. If you need to pad that back knee to make it more comfortable, all the better. The less distractions we have, the more we can get to the real root. Make sure the head and neck are relaxed, the shoulders. And then slowly press your way up. And you can either stay here or come to support yourself on that front thigh with your elbows. So a little bit more active here. We have to use a little balance. But we'll hold it here, tuning into that left hip flexor a little bit deeper now. Here, your front leg is the prop. And then slowly release that. We're going to step that back and do whatever you need to in between. So I'm going to do a child's pose here, bringing those hips back towards the heels and even finding a place to rest my head. Resting and resetting the body. And then on the way back up, coming to hands and knees, bring that left foot forward this time. Shimmy the right leg back as far as it'll go without compromising that approximately 90-degree angle at that front left leg, knee over left ankle. Both hands come to the inside edge of the left foot. We come up onto a prop perhaps. Maybe we come down onto the elbows. Wherever we are, we release the head and the neck. And we bring attention to the entire left hip joint, all the accessory muscles, the front of the right hip and the thigh. We work on softening the parts that are trying to hold on. Letting the head and neck go, the shoulders be soft. And then slowly make our way back up. And you can either stay here or prop yourself up on that left thigh with the forearms. And now bring more of the attention into the front of that right hip. Feel the grounding, rooting you into the earth. Yes, it requires a little bit of muscle action to keep balanced. But every exhale, send those roots into the earth, stabilizing you. Beautiful. One more breath here. And then release. This time we're going to come into a supported puppy pose. So keeping the hips right above the knees. I'm going to have something to catch my head as I walk my arms forward and let my head melt. And then my heart starts to melt down. The hips stay high, the arms stay long and straight. And then maybe you can relax them at a certain point. Slowly make your way back up. So we're going to be coming into a supported twist. You can do this both on the floor or on a pillow or something. I'll show you the floor first. So we're going to come down onto our left sides, all the way down. This could be where you stay. Maybe though, you start to turn your face, shoulders, and heart towards the floor. Have something to rest your forehead on. And the legs can decide how they want to be. They can be stacked, they can be staggered. And then we let go into the earth. For an extra twist, you look to the opposite side. And then, as promised, if you do have a pillow, a couch cushion, you can bring that right into the left hip. And same thing, come down, face down onto the cushion, or turn the head to the left. Three more long breaths here. And then we untwist, press ourselves back up, and go to the other side. So I'll let you see the opposite side coming onto the right side, either on the floor or on a couch or cushion. The heart, the head, the shoulders turn towards the earth, and we come to either rest our forehead on hands, on a prop, or even turn to the opposite side. Let go through the shoulders. Let the knees be heavy, stacked or staggered. Letting the breath flow. Letting it soften any restrictions. We're in a safe space. So even if emotions start to flow as well, which often happens as we move the body, release things, tap into neglected areas, we're safe. Again, we're giving ourselves permission to let go of what no longer serves us and invite in newness, nourishment, a home base of tranquility, calm, joy, bliss. One more long breath. And then untwist yourself, press yourself back up, and make your way into a supported child's pose. Toes together, knees as far apart as is comfortable. And then letting yourself fold over. If you do have a cushion or a bolster, we will go half the time with the neck turned one way and half the other way. We're going to switch the sides if that applies to you. And then slowly press yourself up. We're going to be coming to our backs now. So if you have a cushion, we're going to continue using it as we drape our upper body over that cushion or pillow. If you don't have a cushion, you can come all the way to the floor. Another option too, is you can kind of make a more rectangular cushion by taking blocks and draping a blanket over top. Not as soft, but it can also work for these purposes. So whatever you decide, you can get yourself set up. Remember, it's always an option to be just on your back, on the floor. So we're going to drape that body over our bolster or our pillow or our blocks or over the floor and take a moment here. Yeah, make it a little more active, especially if you don't have something underneath you. Take the palms to the ground. The thumbs might be slightly wedged underneath the buttocks and prop yourself up onto your elbows. And then you could stay there or let the head come back into a supported fish, Matsyasana. Opening that heart up. One more long breath. And then release that. Let the arms come beside you. Bend both knees, keep the feet together, and let the knees fall out to the sides. Now, if this feels unsafe for your inner thighs, you can always have something to catch the outer thighs as they come down. Again, giving that feedback to the body that it is not alone. It doesn't have to hang there. You can have something to rest on. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobblers. And then slowly reach those arms up to the sky. Let the shoulders fall back. Bend the elbows as if you were kind of giving yourself a hug, but tap the opposite shoulder. And just let those arms be heavy. Now notice which arm is on the top or closest to your face. We're going to reach those arms up again, and this time cross them the opposite way, the opposite arm on top. The upper arms are about perpendicular to the ground. So we're letting gravity just draw the arms down towards the earth. And now reach them back up again. And with the thumbs pointing towards your head side of your mat, start to reach those arms overhead. Maybe the thumbs get to the earth, maybe they don't. And hold it here, finding length and traction. And slowly start to bring the arms out along the sides, maybe pausing at any spot that feels pretty juicy. Help the knees back up together. And either roll onto the side or up off the bolster to bring the bolster out from under you or pillow. And then we're going to move our way down to our hips again. Keep the knees bent. Bring the feet mat width apart and let the knees fall in towards each other. Let yourself settle here. Slowly come back up. Draw the knees in towards you. Maybe rock side to side. Now this you can use your arms, you can use a tea towel or a strap. We're going to keep that left knee in towards us and then stretch the right leg out. Now you could always have it being caught by something. You can let it come all the way to the floor. And if we've got the strap, then we can let the elbows be soft at the sides and experiment just with slight cinches up on the belt where it feels best to hold this leg. Both sides of the hips at the back are supported, equally grounded. We want the sacrum to feel flat on the earth here. And just relax that leg into the body. Now, if you'd like, you can take it out to the side by taking both ends of the belt or the tea towel or your leg into the left hand. You could also always have something catch that leg as it comes out to the side. And then we're going to go the opposite direction, crossing that knee over the body, coming into a twist. And again, you could use your tea towel, your hands, your strap, or have something on the right side to catch that knee. Depending on that lower back, you may need more or less height. And try to keep both shoulders on the earth. Come back up to center. Hug both knees in again. And then either taking the hands, tea towel, or strap around that right shin. You can let that left leg come down to the mat and find that place here where both hips are supported behind you. The sacrum's flat to the earth, and you can play with the belt or the strap or the towel to determine how close in that knee comes. I like using a prop here instead of just my hands so that my shoulders, my chest can soften back, my elbows can bend, and my chest can remain open here. And then take both ends of the belt or whatever you have into the right hand. Let that right leg open to the right. And then maybe you have something to catch there. I always like to ground that opposite hip with my hand. Just reminding everything that it can be soft. And then slowly bring that knee back into center and bring it to the other side now. Find something to catch your knee if needed. Sometimes takes a little bit of adjustment to find the right place. But once you get there, soften both shoulders to the earth. Keep the collarbones wide, heart open to the sky. Hold it there. And one more breath here. And slowly make your way back up. You can do whatever you need to here. Shake it out a little, windshield wipers. Now we're going to be doing a supported bridge pose here. So depending on what you have available to you, you could come into bridge. So Satrubandhasana, we bring the elbows beside us, drill those upper arms into the earth and lift the hips up. Now for a supported pose, we have something to catch those hips so that we're not actively keeping them up. Either way works. So I'm going to slide a bolster, but you could use a block under there at any height. But as long as it's a place where you don't feel like you're being pinched. And then you make sure that the feet are parallel, knees are pointing in the same direction, not flopping out to the sides. You hold there. Take 3 more long breaths here. And then you can remove whatever props you have, let those hips lower, do some windshield wipers, whatever is needed. We're going to come into our final posture, and you can stay there for Shavasana or move into Shavasana after a nice hold here. But we're going to come to legs up the wall. So this depends on whether or not you have a wall available to you. If you don't, you can always also drape your legs over a couch edge or a chair or a bed like this. Imagine something holding them up there. You could have a bolster underneath you or not. Mine lifts my hips up above my heart slightly, but it is a little bit trickier to maneuver into with the bolster. We want to get the hips as close to the wall or the couch or the bed as possible so that the entire leg feels supported from the sit bones all the way up to the heels. And then we find a natural position for the legs. They don't have to be squished together. We let the feet fall naturally. We find a position for the arms. When we close our eyes, we feel the change in blood flow. Yes, it's always going to be pumping towards the toes, but feels like there's some stress being taken off the venous return system, the lymphatic system. As we're letting gravity aid the return of lymph and blood toward the heart. The hips are fully supported, and the load is no longer on the lower body, on the pelvis and the legs. We're reversing it here. We're allowing our legs, our feet, our hips a break here for a moment so that they may let go, they may restore, and start afresh the next time we're back up on our feet. Now you may stay here for Shavasana, or you can move into a new relaxation of your choice. Whether that's in corpse pose on your back, with props or without, whether you would like to finish in meditation. I'll leave it up to you at this point. What feels most like the most appropriate ending for your restore practice? Breathe. And feel the pieces of you that are open for a new chapter, that are receptive to a new story. Of course, it's all a continuation of everything else that's been laid down before us, before now. And there are definitely things to hold on to. But those things that are getting old, the things that no longer serve you, perhaps it's time stay here for as long as you can, as long as your schedule allows you. And I'll see you again soon. I thank you so much for exploring with me the light in me honors light in all of you.